Hey guys, welcome to Xbox On. Now, if you've ever dreamt of one day being a knight, a samurai, or maybe even a Viking, then good news, because your dreams can now become a reality. Ubisoft's latest offering, For Honor, allows you to get to grips with the art of battle, aka it's time to hack and slash your way to a satisfying victory. It's not going to be a walk in the park though, so here are 7 tips to get you started and, more importantly, winning in For Honor. Now, if you're anything like me, then you're impatient and expect to be amazing at a game straight away. Well, it turns out that's not how it goes in For Honor. Trust me when I say the tutorials are an essential part of the game. There's an entire section dedicated to them. From basics to more advanced to bot fights and videos, there's a whole host of learning materials to get your head around. For Honor is all about strategy and defense, so if you charge headfirst into a PvP battle, you're gonna end up very, very dead. Take some time and work your way through all the different attacks, blocking styles and special moves. Once you've settled on your class of choice, it's worth checking out the videos about them too. Remember, knowledge is power. So a little more about fighting bots. I know it can seem unfulfilling and you don't get the same sense of satisfaction when you destroy a human being on the battlefield, but bot practice is essential before you take on the big wide world. Start with the basics of all bots and get that sweet satisfaction from wiping the floor with it whilst practicing the basics. Progress to the next level and it's a steep learning curve and much more like the competition you'll be facing online. If you really want a wake-up call, then go against the hardest bot. If you get to the point where you can handle it well, then you're ready for the big league. In For Honor, you'll start off with a choice between 3 starting heroes: the Warden, Raider, and Kensei. Your best bet is to start with the Warden, as they're the easiest to master quickly. They're a very well-rounded character, so whilst it's difficult to get amazing with a particular aspect of it, you'll do well in those early days. The Warden also has a high attack damage, so even if you do find yourself panic swinging your sword, you'll be doing a tasty amount of damage to your enemy at least. Once you've got to grips with the Warden and you've got yourself to, say, level 5 and up, start thinking about moving on to a more complex character where you can really make its skills your own. Using your zone attack can be super useful in certain scenarios and is a good thing to know in a pinch. By pressing both your light and heavy attack at the same time, which is RB and RT, you'll perform a zone attack. Depending on who you're playing as, this is usually a swing which reaches pretty far and will hit enemies in front, to your side, and even behind you. Zone attacks can't be interrupted, so they're perfect if you're swamped by a large group of enemies and need to make some room, or if you know a big attack is coming your way and you want to break it as quickly as possible. Of course, an amazing attack like this is gonna come with a drawback, and that's that it eats into your stamina like crazy. It can eat up almost 50% in one big hit, so be careful not to drain your stamina and then find yourself stuck in a swarm of enemies with no way out. That's a recipe for disaster. Blocking is pretty much the most essential skill you can master in For Honor. To successfully block an enemy's attack, you need to use the right stick to switch to the same stance your opponent is attacking from. For example, if you change your stance to the right whilst your enemy swings in from the left, prepare for all kinds of pain. Blocking can be used to throw your enemy off guard too. If you keep your blocking stance the same direction right up until the last moment before you switch and attack, you can catch your enemy off guard. The more you make your enemy work and play tricks with them, the higher chance you have of succeeding. Blocking also increases your revenge mode bar. If you're really up against it, then block like your life depends on it, which, you know, it does, and as soon as your revenge bar is full, then press Y. By entering this mode, your health and attack are increased for a short while, allowing you to attack without being interrupted. A good use of this could be the difference between winning and losing. Using the environment for kills is a sneaky way to end a match quickly, especially if you're not doing so well and fear the worst. There are plenty of places you can knock your enemy off, whether it be off a broken wall or a flimsy bridge. Once your target is off, it's game over for them. The best way of achieving this is backing them up to the area as closely as you can with some cleverly timed blocks, then hitting the X button twice for a block shove. If performed correctly, they'll stumble backwards and Geronimo! You can also use it to break the battle up if the fall isn't quite high enough to be fatal. Shove them off a ledge and then use the time it takes for them to come back to get your bearings and get the upper hand in the battle. Of course, this attack works both ways. Never stand with your back to an area where you can potentially fall off. One well-timed shove and it's game over for you. It's not ideal, but there will be times when you find yourself completely surrounded by enemies. There's no shame in running away to get a better handle on the situation, but of course you can't always do this if you have enemies behind you. Something to utilize is the fact that you can block more than one attack. Once you've locked onto the enemy ahead of you using LT, concentrate on their attacks and try not to worry too much about the enemies to your side, as those attacks will also be blocked as long as you're blocking the enemy you've locked onto correctly. Another move to help with a massive swarm is your zone attack. As it's a big sweeping swing, it can completely pulverize a big group, allowing you to run back and get your bearings. And there's always using your revenge mode too. All that blocking is going to get your revenge bar filled up quicker than you can say, take this, which is pretty handy. For honor is best during one-on-one duels, but there's always a way to deal with the large crowds too. And there you have it, 7 tips to help you get started on the battlefield in For Honor. Let me know if you have any more tips for me in the comments box down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll see you next time. Bye!